Good evening. Once again, you're listening to the Hour of the Time, and once again, I'm still William Cooper. Tonight, folks, we've got quite a lineup here for you. Right off the bat, we're going to give you another little surprise like last night. This is going to be tape number 1 in the Mystery Babylon series, entitled The Son, spelled S-U-N, the Son of God. And remember, when you hear this tape, you're going to think all of a sudden that you know an awful lot. And I'm going to hear right now tell you, don't even believe that for a second. This is just going to barely get you acquainted with some ideas that you had never discovered before, that you'd never known before. And if you're smart, should start you on a quest for the truth. It is not my religion that you're going to hear tonight. It is not anything that is trying to tell you that your religion is wrong. It's not anything like that. It is some of the basic principles and precepts that you will find hidden behind the veil of the mystery religion of Babylon. Deep within the depths of the symbolic ritual and the actual, yes, true religion of the so-called fraternal orders, the secret societies. And I'm not talking about just one, I'm talking about all of them. Immediately following the Son of God, at the top of the next hour, we will have a new tape from Dr. Wallach. It's called Lucky Mo, or how Dr. Wallach's pig arthritis formula got its name. And I think you're going to enjoy it. After that, we'll open the phones for the last 30 minutes of the broadcast and to take your calls. So once again, here's the lineup for tonight. During this hour, you're going to hear tape number 1 of the Mystery Babylon series entitled The Son, spelled S-U-N, the Son of God, followed by Lucky Mo, or how Dr. Wallach's pig arthritis formula got its name. And then the last half hour of the broadcast tonight, we will open the phones and take your calls. You might want to jot down the number now. It's 520-333-4578. That's 520-333-4578. Make sure you have pen and paper. Make sure that you're comfortable. You've got something to wet your whistle or maybe something to munch on. And sit back, open your mind, and get ready for some absolutely startling information. I'm going to tell you right now, all of you who think you know how the world is run and what's really going on and what's behind it, let me tell you this. And it's the truth. You can get angry if you want, but it's the truth. You haven't got a clue.
I can see clearly now the rain has gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day.
That song will have a clearer meaning to you as we progress in your education into the mystery religion. But we have to begin in the beginning with every story and every history. And we have to begin at the beginning of mankind. And the beginning is the beginning according to the mystery religion. And they believe wholeheartedly that man is a product of evolution, not of an extraterrestrial race, and not of the creation of some benevolent God. They believe that the tree-dwelling ancestors of man were among the most intelligent beings of their distant age. And when these creatures finally abandoned the trees and walked fully upright, freeing their hands to serve as implements of their minds as well as their bodies, there began the most successful evolutionary drive toward higher intelligence ever witnessed in nature. As ground dwellers, these creatures were easy victims of the great predators who hunted them down by day and surprised them at night as they huddled in clearings or in caves. They could not compete in strength, ferocity, or speed with their attackers. Armed with little except their hands and what their complex brains enabled them to do with those hands, they had to think or die. For untold thousands of years, most of them met early, violent deaths. Only a few in each generation had the good fortune and the ability to outwit their enemies. And these favored ones survived long enough to have and rear offspring. The unwary, maladroit, or stupid died early. And folks, I'm afraid that the stupid who live today are going to die early also. But back to the beginning. Their offspring, if they had any, were left to starve or be eaten by predators. Natural selection was operating on the earliest types of man with grimmest intensity. Perhaps no other extinct creature has undergone so severe and protracted a period of selective elimination. Yet, here and there, small groups managed to survive because they had the intelligence to use sticks, stones, and clubs to defend themselves. Crude and puny as these implements were, they were weapons, and their possessors were the first creatures who could kill without having to come in direct contact with their antagonist. As the great beasts grew larger and either faster or more formidable, man became ever more watchful, ever more successful in pitting his wits against mass and power, more and more adept at slipping out of trouble. And as the challenge grew greater, so did his brain. For the laggards on both sides got left behind in the race for the future. And we are still engaged in that race for the future. The steps in the development of man's brain are revealed by the progressively larger brain cases which appeared with the passage of centuries. Basing our judgment on the improvements in tools and weapons which took place as the intelligence of their inventors increased, we can construct some of the ways in which natural selection may have worked to bring about a doubling in size of the human brain. Many edible nuts are too hard for even a caveman to crack between his teeth. Accordingly, they were useless to early man until some genius of his day discovered that any nut could be opened if it were just placed upon one stone and struck hard with another. Better fed, the family of this innovator proliferated while the others died off. Perhaps centuries later, while a man sat cracking nuts between two stones, one stone broke, and the broken edge cut his hand. Previously, men in the same situation had thrown the broken stone away and nursed their cuts. But this man started thinking. He possessed an original thought. Since the edge had cut through his skin and drawn blood, it might also cut through the skin of the small animals he caught, making it easier to get at the meat. The first knife was invented. He and those close to him, and those intelligent enough to imitate them, increased in number, and the rest died off. They had a cutting tool which made it possible for them to skin and eat meat in less time, so they had more time for hunting. Many of the descendants of this exceptional man became increasingly skillful at breaking and chipping hard stones into sharper tools and weapons. And if you've been to a museum of natural history and you've seen these fine, beautiful flint arrowheads and spearheads, then you know that it took patience and great skill. And this means a further development of the human mind. Natural selection, favoring better knife makers, went on for hundreds of thousands of years, according to those who guard the secrets of the ages, and even according to modern science. A great many centuries later, a young father foraging for his brood may have come upon a long, straight stick, splintered at one end. Well, he pulled and chewed at the splinters until only one stout point was left, or at least that's how we can imagine that it was done. It seemed to him a very useful stick, for it was sharper than the digging sticks which the women used. He may have remembered a night during his boyhood when a great cat had charged his family's campsite and dragged away a younger sister. Now that he had small children of his own, the memory of that attack was ever present. Lately, he had seen fresh panther tracks. Another family not far away had been attacked and the mother had been killed. His dawning intelligence told him his pointed stick might be a better weapon against big cats than the clubs which he and the other men carried. So for many days he kept the long stick near him, even when he was laughed at for having what was regarded as a woman's tool. Not only did he possess a greater intellect than his fellow men, but he possessed more courage to resist their laughter. Then one night, he heard a faint rustling, He whispered a quick warning to his family. Suddenly, a dim shape charged at him in the darkness. Kneeling, he raised the point of his long stick toward the beast. It sprang, clawed at him savagely, then fled. The creature had struck the point so hard that the blunt end of the stick was shoved deep, deep into the ground. Next morning, following a trail of blood, the man found a panther dead from a punctured chest. The long, sharp stick had saved his life and the lives of his family members. In the same situation, less perceptive men, armed only with clubs, would have been killed. From that time, he, his sons, and their sons carried impaling sticks whenever big predators were near. Foresight, genetically transmitted to their descendants, had given them a new weapon, which they used with devastating effect against their natural enemies. Perhaps many generations later, a bright descendant of the inventor of the impaling stick mated with the daughter of a man who had thought of throwing a club at fruits, nuts, and small animals on the lower branches of trees. Now and then, this brought down an extra meal. The man who knew how to defend his family from feline prowlers soon learned from his woman the new way to collect additional food. And their young family thrived, and some of the children, with good mental inheritance from both sides of the family, showed an even higher order of intelligence than either of their parents. With impaling sticks added to their clubs and cutting stones, men no longer had to be such hardy food gatherers. The hunted gradually evolved into hunters. And in times of famine, when battles over food were fierce, those with impaling sticks threw them with deadly accuracy at members of other hunting bands. Sharper stone knives and spears gave a double survival advantage during times of crisis. But the most telling gains were the increasing sharpness of minds. However incomplete our knowledge of human ancestry, there is scarcely any doubt that the development of brain power, of intelligence, was the decisive force in the evolutionary process which culminated in the appearance of the species to which we belong. Natural selection, they believe, has brought about the evolutionary trends towards increasing brain power because brain power confers enormous adaptive advantages on its possessors. It is obviously brain power, not body power, which makes man by far the most successful biological species which living matter has produced. Even with man's new weapons and tools, it did not take him very long to decide that in this world the single greatest enemy to be feared was the darkness of night and all the unknown dangers that came with it. Simply stated, man's first enemy was darkness. Understanding this one fact alone, one can readily see why the greatest and most trustworthy friend that the human race could ever have was, by far, heaven's greatest gift to the world, that glorious rising orb of day, the sun. And with this simple truth understood, we can now begin to unravel the most ancient and still the most successful religion upon the face of this earth. Its success lies in its ability to remain hidden from the rest of the people. But first, let me assure you folks that no people of the ancient world believed the sun to be God. In point of fact, every ancient culture and nation on earth have all used the sun as the most logically appropriate symbol to represent the glory of the unseen creator of the heavens. In the Old Testament it says, quote, "The heavens are declaring the glory of God," unquote. That's in Psalms 19, verse 1. In the Old Testament, quote, the Son of Righteousness will arise, unquote. Malachi chapter 4, verse 2. The ancient peoples reasoned that no one on earth could ever lay claim of ownership to the great orb of day. It must belong to the unseen creator of the universe. It became, figuratively speaking, not man's, but God's Son. Truly, God's Son was the light of the world. As I stated before, folks, in the dark, cold of night, man realized his utter vulnerability to the elements. Each night, mankind was forced to wait for the rising of the sun to chase away the physical and mental insecurity brought on by the darkness. Therefore, the morning sun focused man's attention on heavenly dependence for his frail, short existence on earth, and in doing so, it became the appropriate symbol of divine benevolence from heaven. For without the sun there was no light, there was no warmth, and nothing could grow or live upon the face of this earth. So just as a small fire brought limited light into man's own little world of darkness, likewise the great fire of day served the whole earth with its heavenly presence. For this reason, it was said that the God of the Bible was a consuming fire in heaven. And so he was. It was accepted by all that man was bound to a life on earth, but the sky was the abode of God's Son. He resided up there in heaven. Ancient man saw in his male offspring his own image and likeness, and his own existence as a father was proved by the person of his Son. It was assumed that God's Son was but a visible representative of the unseen Creator in heaven. So it was said, quote, when you have seen the Son, you have seen the Father, unquote. Said another way, quote, the Father is glorified in his Son, unquote. Ancient man, even with his limited intelligence at that time, had no problem understanding that all life on earth depended directly on life-giving energy from the sun. Consequently, all life was lost without the sun. It followed that God's Son was nothing less than man's Savior. Since energy from the sun gave life, and we sustained our very existence by taking energy in from our food, which came directly from God's Son, the sun must give up its life, supporting energy, so that we may continue to live. God's Son must give his life for us to live. Now, I know that if you are intelligent out there listening, you are making some connections here. You see, the mystery schools believe that Christianity is a perversion of the mysteries. While it was plainly true that our life came from and was sustained each day by our Savior, God's Son, it was and would be true only as long as the sun would return each morning. And our hope of salvation would be secure only in a risen Savior. For if he did not rise from his grave of darkness, all would be lost. All the world waited for his imminent return each morning. The Father would never leave us at the mercy of this world of darkness. The heavenly promise was surely that, quote, he would come again, unquote, to light our path and save those lost in the darkness. Logically, even if man himself died, as long as the sun comes up each day, life on earth will continue forever. Therefore, it was said in the ancient texts that everlasting life was the gift the Father gives through his Son. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that we may have life everlasting on earth. And the ancient text did not mean for you personally, but on earth everlasting life. That is the interpretation of the mystery schools. Since evil and harm lurked at every turn in the fearful dark of night, all evil or harmful deeds were naturally the works of darkness. And with the return of the sun each morning, man felt more secure in his world and therefore was at peace. Therefore, God's Son was, with his warm rays of hope, the great, quote, Prince of Peace, unquote. And of course, the reverse was equally true. The evil of night was ruled over by none other than, quote, the Prince of Darkness, unquote. Hence, evil is of the dark, or the devil. It was only a short step to see that the light of God's Son equated with righteousness and truth, and evil with darkness. From then on, it was simple to understand. Light was good, dark was bad, and the priests of the ancient mystery religion always followed the light. They always looked toward the east. They considered themselves to be illumined. That being true, in the great orb of day, God's Son could rightly say of itself that, quote, I am the light and the truth, unquote. We should all, in their words, not mine, give thanks to the Father for sending us his Son, spelled S-U-N, in case some of you were getting confused. In every instance where I have mentioned the word Son, it has been in reference to the Son, S-U-N. For the peace and tranquility he brings to our life is even called solace. Solace is from the word solar, which means sun. Are you beginning to see the light? We now have before us two cosmic brothers, one very good and one very bad. One brings the truth to light with the light of truth. The other is the opposite, or in opposition to the light, the opposer, the prince of the world of darkness. It is at this point we come to Egypt. More than 3,000 years before Christianity began, the early morning sun, the Savior, was pictured in Egypt as the newborn babe. The infant Savior's name was Horus. The early morning sun, our newborn babe, was pictured in two ways. The dove, known as the bringer of peace. The hawk, the god of war who punishes the enemies of God. Today, in government, we still use these terms, doves and hawks. And that's how powerful this hidden religion is that we use the terms of this religion even today and know it not. At daybreak, this wonderful newborn child is, of course, born again. Hallelujah. Horus is risen. That is what hallelujah means. Even today, when the sun comes up, we see it on the Horus risen, or horizon. His life was also divided into 12 parts, or 12 Horus hours, the 12 signs of the zodiac. But now, what about the evil brother of God's Son, that old prince of darkness himself? In the Egyptian belief system, he was called Set, or sometimes Typhon. We are told in the Bible that when God's Son died, the world was left in the hands of the Prince of Darkness at sunset. Sunset. Do you understand? God's Son was killed by the Prince of Darkness set at sunset. It was generally observed that God's Son could be depended upon to return in the same manner that he left, namely on a cloud, and every eye will see him, unless, of course, you're blind or dead. Keeping in mind that God's Son not only represented the light of truth, but was put to death by his enemies who could not endure the light of truth in their life, it was taught by the ancients that the very act of opposing or denying the light of truth to the point of killing it happened in one's own mind. When we are confronted with harsh realities of life, the truth, the light of truth, which we do not wish to face and which runs counter to our views, such truth is put to death by your mind and in your head. Therefore, God's Son, the truth and the light, is put to death at the place of the skull, or skull place, located somewhere between your ears. This putting to death of the light of hope in your mind is always accompanied by the two thieves: regret for the past and fear of the future. Don't go away, folks. We have to take a short break. I'll be back right after this pause. And of course, God's Son goes to his death wearing a corona, which in Latin means crown of thorns. Remember the Statue of Liberty? It was given to us by Masonic France. To this day, kings still wear a round crown of thorns symbolizing the rays of the sun. Now, as far back as we can go into the ancient world in our research, we find that all known cultures had a three-in-one or triune God. The very first Trinity was simply the three stages of life of the sun: newborn at dawn, mature or full grown in its full power at 12 noon, and old and dying at the end of day, going back to the Father. All three were, of course, one divinity. The Trinity is no mystery in the mystery schools. The Egyptians knew that the sun was at its highest point in the sky, or high noon, when no shadow was cast by the pyramid. At that point, all Egypt offered prayers to the Most High God. As stated before, to the ancients, the sky was the abode, or heavenly temple, of the Most High. Therefore, God's Son was doing his heavenly Father's work in the temple at noon. The world of ancient man kept track of times and seasons by the movement of the sun, daily, monthly, and yearly. For this, the sundial was devised. Not only the daily movement of the sun was tracked on the round dial, but the whole year was charted on a round calendar dial. Examples are ancient Mexican, Mayan, Inca, Aztec, Sumerian, Babylonian, Assyrian, Egyptian, Celtic, or Celtic as some pronounce it, Aryan, etc. And with this method, certain new concepts emerged in the mind of ancient man. Since the earth experienced 4 different seasons, all the same and equal in time each year, the round calendar was divided into 4 equal parts. This represented the complete story of the life of God's Son. This is also why we have in the Bible only 4 Gospels. Of this point, there can be no doubt, for Tertullian and many early church fathers stated this exact fact themselves in their own writings. And this, the mystery school claims, is why the famous painting of the Last Supper pictures the 12 followers or houses of the sun in 4 groups of 3, the seasons, with the sun in the center alone. On the round surface of the yearly calendar, you draw a straight line directly across the middle, cutting the circle in half. One end being the point of the winter solstice, the other end being the point of the summer solstice. Then draw another straight line crossing the first one end of the new line being the spring equinox, the other end being the autumn equinox. You now have the starting points for each of the 4 seasons. This is referred to by all major encyclopedias and reference works, both ancient and modern, as the cross of the zodiac. Thus, the life of God's Son is on the cross. This is why we see the round circle of the sun on the crosses of Christian churches. The next time you pass a Christian church, look for the circle, sun, on the cross. On December the 22nd, the sun going south reaches its lowest point in the sky, our winter solstice. At that lowest point, the sun stops moving on the sundial for 3 days, December 22nd, December 23rd, and December 24th, in the southern constellation known as the Southern Cross. Hence our Savior, dead for 3 days, died on the cross. The Southern Cross constellation, that is. This is the only time in the year, folks, that the sun actually stops its movement in our sky, according to the mystery schools. On the morning of December the 25th, the sun begins its annual journey back to us in the northern hemisphere, bringing, of course, our spring. Therefore, on December 25th, the sun is born again. And to this day, his worshipers still celebrate his birthday. It is at this point that we should look at the significance of the recurring number 12 in the Bible. First, 13 is said to be unlucky for humans. It is a heavenly number and represents the Son plus the 12 equals 13, or Christ plus the 12 disciples equals 13. It's unlucky for a different reason, folks. And I will explain that on another program, but it has to do with the persecution of the mystery school, the mystery religion. It would be well to get a Bible concordance and look to see how many times the number 12 is used in the entire Bible. Remember, the mystery religion is a religion of the heavens. Also in the Bible, you will find many combinations of the number 7 in the mystery religion that represents the 7 stars of the Pleiades. And you can see the emergence of the mystery religion in the UFO movement when the Pleiadians come to talk to Billy Meyer in Switzerland. Oh my, how we are deceived by these people. Here are a few examples of the use of the number 12 in the Bible. The 12 months of the year, the 12 apostles of the sun, the 12 tribes of Israel, the 12 brothers of Joseph, the 12 judges of Israel, the 12 great patriarchs, the 12 Old Testament prophets, the 12 kings of Israel, the 12 princes of Israel, God's Son and temple at 12, and there are many more. All these examples, and countless more, derive directly from the ancient world's fascination with the 12 signs of the zodiac. Now remember, folks, what I'm giving you is the teachings of the mystery school. This does not necessarily reflect any of my own beliefs or my own religious beliefs are those of WWCR. We cannot fight against these manipulators unless we know who they are and what they believe. And what you want to believe is your own business. As we noted before, folks, the year was divided into 12 equal parts, or months, and to each month was appointed a heavenly symbol or astrological sign. 3 of these signs made up one season, and the world of the heavens was divided into 4 separate seasons. Each of the 12 monthly signs were called houses of the heavenly zodiac. The astronomers of Babylon divided the sky into 12 houses. They did this to account for the fact that the planets were not always exactly in the ecliptic, but appeared to wander a certain number of degrees either side of it. They therefore had to assume that each sign of the zodiac extended its influence through a fixed portion of the sky, which they thought of as a house to which a planet could return when it completed one of its journeys about the sun. The great god of the day had its house in Leo, the lion of Judah, where he ruled at the head of his splendor. The moon ruled in Cancer at the right hand of the sun. The other planets were given 2 houses, one for day and one for night. And since the zodiac divided the sky into 12 equal portions, each of these houses was also equal, comprising 30 degrees, or 1/12 of the 360-degree circle. And the houses and signs of the zodiac were as follows. Aries was the ram, or lamb of God. Taurus, the bull, the golden calf. Gemini, the twins, which represented Cain and Abel. Jacob and Esau are Jesus and Satan, for in Mystery Babylon, Jesus and Satan are brothers, and in some sects of the mystery religion, they are the same entity. Cancer, the crab. Leo, the lion of the tribe of Judah. That can be found in Revelations 5, verse 5. Virgo, the virgin, spring birth of God's son, or Mary. Mary, or Marie, means pure, thus Mary, the virgin, the mother of God, when God is reborn or born in the spring. And that is where the mother holding the child, Isis with the child, Horus, and all through the history of the world, you will find a virgin holding a child in every culture, every language, in every continent of this earth. Libra, the scales. Scorpio, the scorpion, the backbiting traitor, Judas. Sagittarius, the archer. Capricorn, the sea goat, or the goat of Mendes. Aquarius, man with the water pitcher. Pisces, the 2 fish. The age that we are leaving at this point in time is the age of Pisces. And according to the mystery religion, we are entering into the age of Aquarius very soon in our future. And to them this has great meaning, for it means the dawn of the new age, the age of the illumined man. The number of the man is 666 in the mystery religion. Today, we have expressions when someone dies. We say things like they passed, or they passed on, or they passed away. The ancients said they passed over from one life to another. Over what? Over the river. And so it was with the coming of spring. As God's Son is resurrected from the death of winter to his new life in spring, this is why Christians celebrate the resurrection with a sunrise service at Easter. And the Jews, who knew this ancient religion from their time in captivity in Babylon, celebrate the same with their Passover. With this knowledge, we now add the fact that the first decan of the astrological sign of Virgo is Coma, or the desired one of the nations. This was pictured by the ancient astrologers as a virgin girl holding a newborn babe. hence our Madonna and Child motif. So in the spring, our Virgo, God's Son, is born of a virgin. Incidentally, the astrological symbol for Virgo is the letter M, or Marie, which means pure, hence Mary, the pure virgin. And all through every culture you will find other representations by other names of the Virgin Mother with the child. Isis with the child. Horus, born of a magical intercourse when Isis changes into a bird and flutters over the dead. Osiris. Osiris representing the sun, Isis representing the moon. I will tell you the meaning of the child Horus other than the sun in the morning, probably in another episode of the Hour of the Time. Now, we belong to one another. According to the mystery school, we are part of God's creation. We are part of a great fraternity of man, according to them. We are creation's voice to sing praise to God as we gather in the morning. The morning, folks. To pray. The very time of day recalls our creation and our new creation in Christ. During the gathering time, reflect on this mystery. Using the silence, the sounds of morning, the Psalms and other scriptures, be aware that the rising sun is the image of Christ, our Son and source of life, and that is taken right out of a Protestant church's leaflet calling for the congregation together for the Easter sunrise service. Next we read at 1 Peter chapter 5 verse 4 that God's Son is the chief shepherd. This word chief is very important, for at 1 Peter chapter 2 verse 6, God's Son is called the chief cornerstone. Now, in our research into the mystery schools, we find that the word in Greek for chief cornerstone simply meant the peak of a pyramid. The peak of a pyramid. The corner foundation stone, or peak of the pyramid. The prefix acro, or topmost, was added by the Jews to the already existing Greek adjective goniaios, or at the corner. In that way, the translators of Isaiah rendered the Hebrew word for corner, pinya, isai, 28:16, describing the stone which was a sure foundation and which probably had reference to the future Messiah. Well understood by the Christian writers was that of an important stone which was both acro, a peak, and a goniaios, a cornerstone. But there are 4 or more corners to a building, and a stone at a corner cannot be uniquely significant. Although you will find in Freemasonry the ceremony of laying a cornerstone for every building that is built, and you look at all the buildings in Washington, D.C., you will see a cornerstone with the Masonic symbols and Masonic date of the mystery schools of the calendar of 6,000 years. Well, we found that we don't believe that it can be significant unless the stone be at the apex of a pyramid where all corners meet and bond together, and that is the secret of the truncated pyramid, missing the capstone on the reverse of the Great Seal of the United States. For we have found in our research that in the mystery religion, the master mason is the cornerstone or the peak of the pyramid, the illumined man, who functions as the eye of Horus or the spy for the mystery schools wherever he is at. Just as the Great Pyramid near Mexico City is called the Pyramid of the Sun, so also the Great Pyramid of Egypt was actually dedicated to Horus, the sun. A picture of this you may see on the back of any $1 bill. Above the pyramid, folks, is the eye, the sun, the eye of Horus, the Son of God. The New Testament tells us 3 different times that God's Son was taught by and learned all things from the Father. He was the pupil. We are told at Matthew chapter 14, verse 17 and 19, that God's Son tends to his people's needs with two fishes. The two fishes being the astrological sign all astrologers know as Pisces. Thus we have had for almost 2,000 years God's Son ruling in his kingdom or sign of Pisces, the two fishes. As stated before, these signs are called houses. Therefore Pisces is the Lord's house at this time. Truly, the greatest fish story ever told. According to astrology, sometime after the year 2010, catch that date, folks, the year 2010. Remember what I told you about 2001. Arthur C. Clarke is obviously a member of the mystery schools. And Stanley Kubrick, who's responsible for making the movie, is obviously a member also. According to astrology, sometime after the year 2010, the sun will enter into his new sign, or his new kingdom. As it was called by the ancients, this next coming sign or kingdom soon to be upon us will be, according to the zodiac, the house or sign of Aquarius. So when we read at Luke chapter 22, verse 10, we now understand why God's Son states that he and his followers at the last Passover are to go into the house of the man with the water pitcher. So we see that in the coming millennium, God's Son will bring us into his new kingdom, our house of Aquarius, the man with the water pitcher. Once we realize that in astrology each month is assigned one of the so-called houses of the zodiac, and in heaven are 12 houses, or 12 monthly signs, then the words we read of God's Son saying, quote, "In my Father's house are many mansions," unquote, makes sense when translated correctly. The proper translation is as follows: Father's house equals heavenly abode. Mansions equal houses. So correctly read, in the original text we read, "In my Father's heavenly abode are many houses." Yes, 12 to be exact, according to the mystery religion of ancient Babylon. By careful intention and study of the houses, you will be better enabled to interpret horoscopes. It is well to remember that just as the influence of one planet in one sign may be effected for good or ill by another planet in another sign, so the influence of planets in signs in general may be strengthened, weakened, enhanced, afflicted, or otherwise altered by the influence of planets and houses, according to their beliefs. A rule of thumb to remember is that signs measure your inherent qualities. The planets influence those qualities, and the houses indicate directions for them. In other words, the houses indicate certain things, and a planet in a house influences or activates the things indicated. Now, this is all according to their religion. If you want more explanation, please ask Nancy Reagan. Anyone familiar with modern-day Christianity must surely know we are said to be living in the last days. This teaching is in part based on the idea expressed in Matthew chapter 28, verse 20 of the King James Bible, where God's Son says, quote, "I will be with you even to the end of the world," unquote. End of the world? Yet another simple mistranslation to clarify, and there are many in the Bible with a proper understanding of the actual words used. This end of the world is translated differently in various Bibles. Some say end of time, some say end of the days, and still others say conclusion of this system of things. So what does all this talk of the end times or last days really mean? Well, here's the simple answer, folks. According to the mystery schools, when the scriptures speak of, quote, the end of the world, unquote, the actual word used is not, I repeat, not, end of the world. The actual word in Greek is aeon, which when correctly translated means age. That's spelled, folks, A-G-E. Any library will have Bible concordances. Strong's Bible Concordance is a good reference work to use here. Look up the word age in any secular dictionary or Bible concordance. There you will find the word for age is from the Greek aeon, or A-E-O-N. Remembering that in astrology, each of the 12 houses or signs of the zodiac corresponds to a 2,000-year period of time called an age, we now know we are 1,992 years into the house or age of Pisces. Now, correctly understood, it can rightly be said that we today, in fact, are living in the last days. Yes, according to the mystery schools, we're in the last days of the old age of Pisces. Soon, God's Son will come again into his new kingdom or new age, and that's where all this new age movement and new age comes from, new age of Aquarius, man with the water pitcher. Luke chapter 22, verse 10. That's right, folks, the new aeon or the new age. This, according to the mystery schools, is the perversion of Christianity. This is the theme of the Bible, God's Son and his coming kingdom age, the new age of Aquarius. Now, what you choose to believe is your business. Remember, don't get mad at me. I am teaching you the mystery religion of ancient Babylon. And I'm telling you right now, many people practice this mystery religion in secret, and they hate Christians. They hate Christians because they believe that Christianity is a perversion of their religion and thus is their enemy. When viewing the shimmering rays of sunlight on a body of water at dawn or sunset, according to the mystery schools, one can still see today how God's Son walks on water.
Well, you're listening to WBCQ, Monticello, Maine, USA. This is the hour of the time, and I'm William Cooper. Well, the first hour consisted of number one in the Mystery Babylon tape series entitled The Son, spelled S-U-N, the Son of God. I hope that you have been illumined. We now go to Dr. Wallach. This is a tape you've never heard before. I think you're going to enjoy it. And for those of you in the Round Valley, if you want to hear it again, it will be rerun on my daughter's broadcast at 9 a.m. Saturday morning on 101.1 FM Eager. So once again, get yourselves comfortable, and if you have children, they will enjoy this because it's really a children's tape. Although everyone is going to enjoy it. I enjoyed listening to it. I'm going to enjoy listening to it again tonight, and I'll probably listen to it again on Saturday morning when my daughter does her broadcast. So sit back, get comfortable, and enjoy. It's entitled Lucky Mo, or How Dr. Wallach's Pig Arthritis Formula Got Its Name.
Lucky Mo the pig was no ordinary pig, and he knew it. He stepped out on the runway, blue ribbon hanging from his neck. Lights flashed all around him. He bowed to the cameraman.
Confidence and savvy, always ends success. Furthermore, we can't ignore he's never second best. Lucky Mo, magnifico, black and white, you're quite a sight. All the world shall see.
Don't forget, folks, as soon as this is complete, we will open the phones for the last 30 minutes of the broadcast. Remember, when this tape finishes, we will open the phones for the last 30 minutes of the broadcast. You might want to write down the number now, 520-333-4578. That's 520-333-4578.
Later did battle with his brother and sister piglets for food and attention. Mo the champion did battle on stage, becoming the most famous world champion pig. Everyone loved Mo and treated him well. Everyone but Doc. Doc treated Mo like a dog. Doc poked and prodded Mo in the most embarrassing places. Mo did not want that.
I am a champion pig, the greatest of them all. I deserve the best, the very finest doll. They treat me like a king, they come whenever I call. There is only one who doesn't, that's Doc. He treats me like a doll. He treats me like a doll. He treats me like a dog. A dog. I am a champion pig, the greatest of them all. I deserve the best, the very finest doll. They treat me like a king, they come whenever I call. There is only one who doesn't, that's Doc. He treats me like
One day, Mo was in the barnyard with several female pigs. Each wanted Mo's attention, to be the mom to Mo's piglets. One batted her eyelashes. He smiled and turned away. Another swung her little pig hams to and fro. Mo yawned. Another rubbed her snout against Mo while another pushed her away. Mo tromped away from the scene. Ho-hum. Mo let out a cry. Hot pain. He limped to the barn. Mo suffered several episodes of joint pain through the next week, sometimes tripping and falling. He became confused and withdrawn. He was embarrassed because he had lost his champion stride. The female pigs no longer vied for his attention. One day a little man trudged into Mo's barnyard and headed straight for him. Mo didn't recognize him at first, but as he drew closer, Mo knew. Oh, no! Doc! Mo's eyes grew wider. He's not poking me! Mo backed away, snorting.
Here now, Mo. What's your problem? Let's have a look.
Mo headed away from Doc as fast as his legs could run. A few steps and he collapsed. All 800 pounds tumbled to the ground. He couldn't get up. As Doc came closer, Mo cried out again.
Now, Mo, don't be afraid. This is just me, old Doc, your buddy. If you're going to get better, you've got to hold still, old boy. Let's see what's going on with you.
Mo could do nothing but lay there as Doc looked him over. Mo struggled to get away, but he was in too much pain. He lay there and cried and cried.
No pig should be in that much pain. Mo, I may treat you like a dog, but you're going to get better.
Doc waved over 2 farmhands working near the barn.
Over here, boys. Help me get Mo into the truck. We'll have to take him to the hospital.
The men dropped what they were doing and headed for Doc and Mo. They rolled the pig onto a tarp and lifted him onto Doc's huge pickup truck. The truck held up under Mo's weight without flattening the tires.
Whew, good thing I drove the new truck instead of the old one.
It was a bit of a drive before the truck finally came to a stop.
Here we are, Mo. You'll be strutting around like new before you know it.
Once inside, Mo was ushered into a hospital pen. He snorted with an attitude as he trotted around the inside edge. He wanted out of there and away from Doc. Doc, on the other hand, knew how important this pig was for his human patients. The next day, he took several tests. His first guess was the answer.
Guess what, Mo? You have arthritis.
Arthritis? Arthritis? Will it kill me?
We'll dose you full of minerals and gelatin, and you'll be back your old proud self in no time.
Mo looked up at Doc. That's pig language for, you'll make me well? Doc understood.
Yes, we'll call it...
He thought for a moment.
My pig arthritis formula. Dr. Wallach's pig arthritis formula. Sounds pretty good. We can't have a famous pig like you with arthritis now, can we? If this works, I'll try it on my human patients.
Just then the door to Mo's pen opened, and in walked the cutest little girl pig Mo had ever seen. Well, doggy, what's this? I like your minerals and gelatin, Doc.
Who let Betsy into Mo's pen?
Doc looked around. She must have gotten out of her pen and pushed the door open by herself, Doc.
Betsy, out.
Betsy paid no attention. She gave Mo her come hither if you dare look, and Mo dared. Come here, little darling, snorted Mo as he shook his happy jowls, and they danced around the pen.
Hello, Betsy, how are you today? Well, Betsy, would you like to stay? You are so fine, will you be my swine? Swing into the grunter, bump your little bumper, twist into the champion brand. Turn into the Rudy, come on little cutie, you can do the champion brand. Hello Betsy, how are you today? Well Betsy, would you like to stay? You are so fine, will you be my swine? Swing into the grunter, bump your little bumper, twist into the champion brand. Turn into the Rudy, come on little cutie, you can do the champion brand.
Doc watched the dance and smiled. Mo showed only a little sign of pain. Betsy was escorted outside, leaving poor Mo behind. Mo was angry at Doc, even more after that. How could he? He huffed and snorted. Betsy stopped, turned, and looked back. Mo raised his head. Betsy fluttered her eyelashes, then slowly trotted off, swinging her hands. Mo was in love. Over the next few weeks, Mo was fed lots of special food with minerals and gelatin. Little by little, he was able to walk more easily without pain. It wasn't long until he had his old familiar proud stride. Doc watched his improvement with interest, noting changes day by day. Betsy slipped out of her pen and visited Mo from time to time. Mo was so happy he almost forgot about the farm and the barnyard. Sometimes Doc would even let the two pigs go for short walks together. One day, Doc made the announcement.
Mo, you've been doing so very well. The minerals and gelatin are working like a charm. It'll be time for me to take you home soon. How about that?
Mo shook his head. He didn't want to leave. What about Betsy? No one knew what evil watched and heard everything that went on between Doc and Mo. One night when Mo was sound asleep dreaming of Betsy, two strangers entered his pen. Mo's dream was interrupted with a quick and hard jab. That made him angry. Mo was up and after the intruders. "Hey, this hog's mad!" exclaimed Alvin. "Well, I'd be mad, too, if you jabbed me like that while I was asleep. Quick, you distract him, I'll think of something." "I don't know what, but something," said Dr. Dean. "Sure, a half-ton of angry pig clobbers me while you think of something," Al said, jumping out of Mo's way. "Mo would take care of those sleep-wrecking, no-good characters, he would." "Come on, Pig," whispered Dr. Dean. "You're going with us, like it or not. We have special plans for you as guest of honor." Alvin grabbed that formula and lab test before we leave. "Gotcha, Doc." "Doc? Doc? This wasn't Doc." Mo was confused. Before he knew what was happening, Mo was being led up a ramp and into a moving van parked behind the hospital. He walked right into a cage barely big enough to hold a dog, much less a champion pig. The heavy door to the truck slammed shut. "Ham hock with beans and sweet potatoes. I love it," chuckled the evil Dr. Dean. "The evidence will be gone forever." Poor Mo. It was dark in there. The truck took off and Mo's cage slid to the back of the truck. "Oh, my! Oh, my!" Back inside the hospital, the overnight attendant, Hank, woke up suddenly from a deep sleep. He checked the animals and found Mo gone, the gate wide open. "Oh, great. On my watch. Prize pig. Mo! Mo! Where are you?" Betsy was wide awake at the mention of Mo's name. "Mo? Where's Mo?" Hank headed for Betsy, hoping to find Mo. "Have you seen Mo, little Betsy?" She shook her head. "Sorry to wake you, little girl." Betsy trotted around her pen anxiously. "Where's Mo? Where's Mo?" Hank decided it was time to make that call. Doc arrived before you could shake a stick. He stomped in through the back door.
"Okay, I want some answers. How do you lose an 800-pound pig?"
"Well, Hank stammered. There was a loud noise, and the next thing I knew, Mo's pen was empty."
"Did you check Betsy's pen?"
"First thing."
"This should have never happened."
Doc gave him the look with one eyebrow higher than the other.
"What did I tell you about falling asleep on the job, Hank? You know how important this pig is to my work, Hank."
His voice got louder. "Sorry, Doc. It'll never happen again."
"You can bet on that. Okay, we're going to have to span the area as best we can in the dark. Let's just be sure he went for a walk."
They searched the grounds and surrounded the hospital.
"Mo! Mo!"
They heard nothing but crickets and coyotes.
"I hope he's not just lost out there. It's plumb dangerous with those coyotes."
Inside the truck, Dr. Dean laughed an evil laugh. "Wallach, you quack, you wouldn't shut up, would you? So you think you can cure arthritis with your pig arthritis formula, do you? Well, no one will ever know. I have your formula and your test." He waved Doc's papers all around the cab and hatefully wadded them up and threw them out the window. "You showed him, boss." "That dang vet thinks he's a real physician. He should stick with cats and dogs. His pig arthritis formula is a thorn in my side." My patients have been going to him thinking that he can help them with minerals and gelatin. Doesn't he know you can get everything you need from the 4 food groups? He's taking money from them and me, and that's not helping anybody. He's going to ruin me. How does he expect me to make my car payment anyway? Mercedes don't come cheap, Doc. Can't he make up another formula? That's not the point, dummy. He lost his prize pig. The hope of getting his formula in the news. Get it? The news. A cure for arthritis is big news, especially if it doesn't involve drugs and surgery. The evidence has got to go, floated Dr. Dean. The pig napper's truck came to a stop. Mo shivered and closed his eyes, wishing to wake up from the nightmare and be back in his pen. Time for a little luck.
Where do I go from here? How do I feel? Darkness surrounds me now. Light has abandoned me. Why am I so unlucky? Life's so unfair. I've got to think of something that gets me out of here. Gotta have a little luck, gotta have a little luck, gotta have a little luck right now. Gotta have a little luck, gotta have a little luck, gotta have a little luck right now. Where do I go from here? How do I see? Darkness surrounds me now. Light has abandoned me. Why am I so unlucky? Life's so unfair. I've got to think of something that gets me out of here. Gotta have a little luck, gotta have a little luck, gotta have a little luck right now. Gotta have a little luck, gotta have a little luck, gotta have a little luck right now. Gotta have a little luck, gotta have a little luck, gotta have a little luck right now. Gotta have a little luck, gotta have a little luck, gotta have a little luck right now.
Meanwhile, Doc Wallach was determined to find the prize pig.
Looks like someone wanted to get away in a hurry. Look at this, Hank. Fresh tracks from a heavy vehicle.
Doc turned the flashlight on the tracks.
They went that way.
He pointed down the road. The 2 men jumped into Doc's truck and took off.
Well, will the doc find the kidnappers of Mo, the 800-pound pig? Well, I certainly hope so. You're listening to a children's story prepared by Dr. Wallach to explain how the arthritis pig formula got its name. If you have not yet called to get your information pack on Dr. Wallach and how his recommendations can help improve your personal health, then you need to call right now. The numbers are 1-888-403-2405. That's 1-888-403-2405 or 1-888-701-0502. That's 1-888-701-0502. One more time for everybody who's slow and did not follow my advice to have pen and paper ready. 1-888-403-2405. That's 1-888-403-2405 or 1-888-701-0502. That's 1-888-701-0502. 877-701-0502. These are toll-free numbers. The call doesn't cost you a thing. If you're in the Round Valley area of Arizona, simply dial 3555. That's 3555. Now let's go back to the pig detectives on the trail.
Doc called the police on his car phone. Kidnapping a champion pig was a federal offense.
Call out the FBI, the CIA. That pig is worth more than the Mona Lisa.
Doc, settle down. It's only a pig. P-I-G, get it? It's not a child. How do you know he's been kidnapped? There was laughter in the background.
This is serious. What's the matter with you? This is a very important pig.
Doc, let us know when you need us for something important, like supper at your place. You know, ham with beans and cornbread. That sounds excellent. Doc was disgusted as he hung up the phone.
Those idiots. It's up to us, Hank. We've got to find that pig.
Meanwhile, Moe's hope for escape was dying. Dr. Dean and Al had slid Moe's cage out of the truck and placed it in front of a huge bonfire. Al was busy rigging a spit nearby. Well, this should be a fine dinner tonight. We should have invited friends. There's plenty to go around, said Al. You dummy, said Dr. Dean. The point of this is that I'm finally getting back at Wallach by hitting him where it hurts. I'll finally expose him as a quack. Yeah, boss. Did you bring beans? Mo looked around for a way out. They were out in the middle of nowhere, up against the mountains. The smoke grew thicker and the blaze burned brighter and hotter. It caught the attention of some motorcyclists out on a joyride. The rough-looking bunch roared out to the fire. They circled the camp like Indians surrounding the wagons in an old Western movie, throwing dust and dirt into the air. Mo was helpless. The bikers taunted and teased him by poking sticks into his cage. Hey, you guys keeping this luau all to yourselves? I don't think so, said the leader, licking his chops. We just got a special invitation. One of the bikers opened Mo's cage. Let's have a little fun first. Mo saw it as his chance to escape and took off, lickety-split. The bikers chased him around and through the fire, laughing while Mo squealed for help. Two very large bikers held Dr. Dean and Al away from the action. At one point, Al actually felt sorry for the pig. He kicked out the distraction, and Mo was able to slip away from the chaos into the night. It was at that very moment that Doc saw the dust and smoke from the corner of his eye. Something told him to pay attention. This time he listened.
Hang on, Hank.
A sharp turn sent the truck turning on two wheels, and they charged the mountain with everything they had. Meanwhile, Mo discovered a small cave in the mountain where he could hide. He couldn't see a thing in the blackness, so he backed into a corner where he could feel safe until morning light. Yow! A scream broke the silence and scared Mo out of his skin. All 800 pounds jumped straight up off the ground. He had backed into the lair of an old mountain lion. You never heard such a ruckus as was heard that night in that mountain. The sound carried in every direction. Doc heard it. The bikers heard it. Dr. Dean and Al heard it. Everyone took off in the direction of the noise. Headlights into the cave from the bikes, the moving van, and Doc's truck revealed the pig and the mountain lion in a standoff. Mo's fighting prowess from piggyhood paid off. He wasn't about to let this old mountain lion get the best of him. The bikers clapped, hollered, and whistled. The lion became a blur as he took off through the crowd, frightened by the noise. Mo stood proud in the spotlight as if he'd won the heavyweight championship. Man, what a lucky pig, yelled one of the bikers. Doc pushed his way through the crowd to examine Mo. Seeing that all was okay, he turned to the crowd.
Who's responsible for this?
He searched the crowd with his eyes and caught Dr. Dean trying to hide behind Al.
Dean, you communist. So this is your doing. Why I oughta...
He took off after Dean and landed a few punches. Hank grabbed him and held him back. Now, Doc, Mo is okay. Let the police take it from here. You could hurt someone.
Well, that's what I intend to do.
He went after Dean again, only to find that Dean had been carried off by a couple of the bikers and tied up in the truck bed. The bikers were so impressed by Mo's courage and Doc's dedication that they escorted Doc, Hank, and Mo straight to the police, where they dropped off the two pignappers. Back at the hospital, there was a reunion between Mo and Betsy. Betsy was so happy to see Mo. She skirted his every move. Mo loved that, of course. He felt like a king again. Plus, he'd never be angry at Doc again. Doc could treat him like a dog all he wanted.
Well, Mo, you seem to be very happy now that evil Dr. Dean and his buddy will be in the hoosegow for a while, so you're safe. He won't try that again. How would you like to take Bessie home with you? How about you, Bessie? Would you like to live on a farm? You're a great pig nurse, but I think you'd be much happier with Mo. What do you say?
The two pigs looked at each other, then back at Doc. They both nodded and agreed.
Quack, quack, quack.
They muzzled each other. Doc found his pig arthritis formula missing from his files, along with some research papers he'd been reading on different types of colloidal minerals. At least he still had his notes on Mo's recovery. But Doc remembered the formula perfectly. Mo's arthritis got 100% better, and Doc gave the pig arthritis formula to his human patients. More and more people came to Doc for help as they told their friends about Dr. Wallach's pig arthritis formula. Some simply call it the pig formula. Others thought there were pigs in the mix. Many complained that he treated them like dogs, but they didn't mind because they got better. To this day, Dr. Wallach still calls it his pig arthritis formula in honor of Lucky Mo, who really was lucky after all.
Lucky Mo woke up one day full of arthritis. He couldn't walk, he couldn't strut, not even in the slightest. Dr. Wallach came along with minerals and gelatin. It wasn't long till Mo was up and running round again, round again. Lucky, lucky, lucky Mo went from lame to fame now. That's how Dr. Wallach's pig arthritis got his name now. Lucky, lucky, lucky Mo went from lame to fame now. That's how Dr. Wallach's pig arthritis got his name. Lucky Mo woke up one day full of arthritis. He couldn't walk, he couldn't strut, not even in the slightest. Dr. Wallach came along with minerals and gelatin. It wasn't long till Mo was up and running round again, round again. Lucky, lucky, lucky Mo went from lame to fame now. That's how Dr. Wallach's pig arthritis got his name now. Lucky, lucky, lucky Mo went from lame to fame now. That's how Dr. Wallach's pig arthritis got his name.
And there you have it, the story of Mo, the pig, the lucky pig, who was responsible for how Dr. Wallach's pig arthritis formula got its name. It's a story for children, and it's nice. Pooh's going to play it again on her broadcast on Saturday morning here in the Round Valley. She has a broadcast for 1 hour every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. until 10. She does it all herself. She operates the board. She operates everything in here. Nobody helps her at all. She does it all by herself, on her own, and I'm very proud of her. I'm looking forward to the day, folks, when she will take over this broadcast and I can retire. That will be nice. It's going to be a long way in the future, I know it, because even if she takes over the broadcast, I won't be able to retire, and don't want to anyway. It'd be nice to do some things I've wanted to do for a long time. And gee, if I sell those 2 cars, I'm not going to be able to do that. So what? Anyway, the phones are open now for the last half hour of the broadcast. We're going to take your calls at 520-333-4578. That's 520-333-4578. I understand reception's not too good tonight, and It's not too good here either. During the tape, I went out and hooked up the shortwave, and it's not coming in too good here. It usually comes in here like gangbusters. You know, really loud and booming and really nice. Tomorrow, the Senate begins the trial of the President of the United States, William Jefferson Clinton, in the matter of perjury and obstruction of justice. That is going to be more than just interesting. It is, it's history. It's very important. Whatever the outcome is going to affect us tremendously, and so we had better pay attention to it. I will be watching the proceedings all day long and will bring you my report tomorrow evening on this broadcast. The number's 520-333-4578, and we'll be taking your calls for the rest of the broadcast. If you have not yet called for your information pack on Dr. Wallach and his advice on how you can improve your own personal health, you also need to call 1-888-403-2405. That's 1-888-403-2405 or 1-888-701-0502. That's 1-888-701-0502. And if you live in the Round Valley area of Arizona, simply call 3555. That's 3555. If you live outside the continental borders of the United States, call 011-520-333-3555. That's 011-520-333-3555. And Tim and Pauline are standing by to take your call, and you can do that right now. In the meantime, while we're waiting for calls, we will... Hi, Pooh.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. I came to say that I think that was very nice of you to play.
Oh, why don't you pull up that chair and get up here where people can hear you on the microphone? Okay.
I think it was nice of you to play that Lucky Mo the story on the radio.
Oh, well, thank you.
You're welcome.
I think it was nice of you to loan me your tape, since it was your tape.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say?
Well,
Why don't you talk for a couple minutes while I pick out some music here?
Okay.
How's that sound?
Yeah. Well, I think it was very nice of him, like I said, to play Lucky Mo the story. And it is nice for the children. And I hope all of you liked it too. And, well, while he's picking out a song here, I don't know if he's got it ready yet. Might be his favorite song, I don't know. Well, I guess we're going to go now.
Thanks for coming to visit.
You're welcome.
And I'll see you later.
Okay.
Unless you want to stay.
Yeah, I'll be your co-host.
Okay. You can be my co-host for the rest of this hour. Don't go away, folks. We'll be right back as soon as we get a call. And if we don't get a call, then you'll hear this whole tune here. I think you're going to like this. It's by a young woman named Leanne Rhymes, who is either 14 or 15 years old. I forget which, but she has the most incredible voice as she gets older. And I pray that nothing ever happens to her or her voice. I think we're going to hear some of the most incredible music from this young woman. I don't even think we can imagine what's going to come out of her throat. Well, Pooh, what do you think about that young lady?
I think it was good.
What do you think about her?
I think she's good too. I saw her on TV before.
I think she's great. For 14 or 15 years, which is she? You used to know.
I think she was 15.
15. For a 15-year-old young woman, I think that her talent and her voice is just absolutely incredible. It's better than good. As she gets older, she's going to astound us.
Yes, I think she is.
She already is. To tell you the truth, if it gets better, it's just going to blow my little brain away. Well, I really don't think there's too many people listening tonight. And whenever we don't get calls, it usually means either the phone line is down or, and let me check that right now. Nope, the phone line is working. Or the weather, our interference, our Voice of America, the great propaganda machine of the Central Intelligence Agency, not wanting people to get the message of this broadcast, stomps all over us. So maybe we'll have to look into going to another shortwave station, since Alan Weiner doesn't seem to be coming across with his promise to get another frequency. And that's not working. So I don't know what's going to happen, but we seem to not be getting out the way we should be, and certainly not the way we were getting out to the world when we first began broadcasting on this station. The first month was incredible. Remember that? Remember we used to sit on the back porch and listen to WBCQ?
Yeah, I remember that.
And it came in loud and clear, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Now, sometimes we can get it, and sometimes we can't. It's as if their transmitter is only broadcasting on like 1/10 power or something. Or else the great magnetic field around the Earth is acting up. Or the winter weather is destroying us. I don't know what's happening, but we can't pump money into something like that, can we?
Mm-mm.
So, I don't know what we're going to do, because when I get nights like this, when I know nobody's listening, it really upsets me, because it's still costing us money, whether anybody's listening or not. And I know for a fact, folks, that when people can hear this broadcast, the phone lights up like a Christmas tree. And it's busy like for hours, people trying to get through. And tonight we have not received one call, which means either the few that are listening are not the calling kind, or we just don't have, we're not reaching anyone out there. And that's most probably really what's happening. Well, you got anything you want to talk about, Pooh, since we're probably talking to ourselves?
Well, I don't know. How about you?
How about me? I've been talking for a long time here.
Well, we could talk about,
Oh, guess what? The phone is ringing. I wonder what's going on here. You want to find out? Huh?
Sure.
Okay. See? Nobody there. Chicken plucker. That means whoever was calling got cold feet at the last moment. We know it's probably not anybody in the Round Valley, because they hardly ever call. There's more chicken pluckers in this Round Valley than I've ever seen before in my life. It's like they're all scared to death to hear the voice on the radio. Good evening. You're on the air.
Well, how are you doing this evening? Alan from North Las Vegas. Hearing you pretty good. You're about an hour earlier. You're much stronger. It seems to be kind of getting a little bit weaker, but you're still 20 over 9 over out here.
Oh, well, thank you.
I've just been listening to your broadcast for years and getting educated. I wanted to ask if you're ever going to do anything more with, like, the NSA report you were telling us about at one time, what Vice President Gore was doing at that time, building up the eavesdropping equipment, installing the supercomputers out there in Virginia, that kind of thing. I see it's kind of coming to fruition, what's happening with it being used more and more. I can see on different news, and even in the movies, they, allude to it. Do you remember when you did that one?
Oh, yes, and we're still researching all of those things. Most people don't understand what's happening. They think the Internet is the greatest thing for free speech since the Constitution and the Bill of Rights were written. They don't understand that the Internet was put together by the government.
Actually, yes, sir. Yes.
They don't understand that the NSA monitors all communications that flow across the Internet.
Yes, sir.
They don't understand that everything in the world, as far as communications and information is concerned, will eventually be in a digital format.
Yes, yes, sir.
When that happens, libraries will disappear, books will disappear, nothing will be available that's not in a digital format. And then, at that time, they will have total control over all information. And believe me, history will change at that point. And the true history will disappear, and the history they want us to believe will instead be substituted in its place. Anything that's considered subversive, anything that is not politically correct, anything that is not officially approved by the world government will disappear.
Yes.
And if you are caught transmitting any of that kind of information, you will disappear also.
Well, the banking industry is a good example with this know your customer situation they're coming up with through the CIC.
That's not going to work, because when banks start doing that, they'll lose customers and they'll go out of business.
Yes.
I'm going to tell you that right now. That's a fact.
Yes, sir. Well, that's a very intrusive organization. It's unbelievable what they've done in the last 4 to 5 years. It's just been the equipment that they have purchased, the eavesdropping that they're doing, and people have absolutely no idea. This has all been done, of course, behind the scenes, not ever reported at all. But if you sit and watch the news, listen little by little, and watch things, you'll see what they've been doing all along. And
it couldn't possibly happen in America. You must be a bunch of radical wackos. And even if it is, it's not going to happen to me, because why would anybody be interested in me?
Well, I really hope the light bulb goes on in America. I try to give that information out every day to whoever I see, and some are receptive, and some of them are, they turn the old volume down.
Most people have a short-circuited brain. They don't know how to use it.
This is true.
They have no common sense whatsoever.
Yes.
And while they have an innate intelligence, they can't get in touch with it. And the ones who can are cowards. They're scared to death.
No, they're frightened.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Even the older people, like my mom's age, I can't believe the ones that went to war in World War II. They're just scared to death.
They're the ones who sold this country down the river for their Social Security, for their military retirement check, for all of the benefits for Medicare and Medicaid. They sold their children and grandchildren into slavery.
Yes.
And the excuse they use is, we lived through the Great Depression. We know how it was, and we're just so thankful to have all these benefits. Bullshit.
Well, Roosevelt just read them what exactly he wanted them to do. They bought right into it, and from then on, it just went downhill.
Yep, you're right. Absolutely correct.
Well, I'm going to buy that pig pack. I've been listening, and that sounds like an excellent thing for people to get on the road to health. And God bless you. You take it easy, and I'll write to you in the future.
Thank you. Thank you for your excellent call.
Thank you. Bye.
Well, somebody's listening in Las Vegas. You've been there, haven't you?
Yeah.
Did you have a good time?
Mhm.
We always had a good time in Las Vegas, didn't we?
Yeah.
Well, what do you want to do now?
Well, I was thinking maybe we could talk about, how in the old times where we used to go in the red Bronco with Sugar Bear and me and you?
Oh, yeah. We did some great things together, didn't we?
Yeah.
Just me and you and Sugar Bear.
Uh-huh.
Well, why don't you talk about some of those things we used to do?
Well, we used to go explore new places where we never went before, and...
Now, by new places, you're talking about not with roads, right?
Not with roads.
We used to go way off where there are no roads.
Yeah.
And climb mountains and go through the brush and in holes and up the other side and get stuck in all kinds of things, huh?
Yeah, we used to have lots of fun.
And what did we do while we were driving?
Well, we used to tell jokes, and I used to pet Sugar Bear and stuff. Now.
Oh, look at here. She just wormed her way right in between us, and we didn't even know she was here. See, we're wearing earphones. We didn't hear her. Who is this? Hello?
It's me.
Who's me?
Hey, Dovey Cooper.
Allison Dovey Cooper. This is our young one, folks, for those of you listening. She has just climbed up on the chair and wormed her way between the two of us before we even knew that she was here. Well, we used to sing songs in the truck, too, didn't we?
Yeah.
And a good old loyal Sugar Bear, he went everywhere we went, and he used to sit right in the middle, and he sure loved to look out the window, didn't he?
Yes. We used to get out and go explore places.
And old mines.
Yeah, I remember that. Sugar Bear used to watch the truck for us and look out, see if anybody would come. If anybody came, he would start barking.
Yeah, we used to go shooting.
Yeah, I remember that too.
That was a lot of fun, huh?
And I got my own gun and shoot.
Yes, you got your own shoot gun, huh? Now you have a rifle, don't you, Pooh?
Yeah.
What is it?
It's a BB gun.
Yeah, that's what you practice with. And you have another one waiting for you when you really get good enough, and that's a 22, old-fashioned 22 Winchester type. But it's really a Rossi knockoff, a reproduction, huh?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Well, of course not, because I won't let you mess with it yet until you get really good with your BB gun.
Yeah.
And you are pretty good. I mean, you can hit that bullseye every time you shoot now.
Yep.
I'm proud of you. And you're next. When Pooh goes to her 22, you'll go to the BB gun, huh? Can you talk? We're on radio. You have to talk.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Pooh, we've got about 4 minutes left before we have to close this out.
Oh, so what song are you gonna play?
Well, to close it out, I'm gonna play "I Know Who Holds Tomorrow," another Leanne Rimes song.
Oh, that's good.
She's incredible. I really like her music. We have to get some more of it. A lot more of it.
Yeah, lot more.
Yeah, Pooh is the one who introduced me to Leanne Rimes. She had a show, I believe it was on satellite somewhere, and Pooh would watch it every once in a while, and she told me all about her, and I sat down and watched the show with Pooh one day, and I was just absolutely, incredibly amazed by this young woman's voice. Well, do you want to tell a story, Allison?
Yeah.
How about Two Little Monkeys? Can you do that? Okay, go ahead.
Once upon a time, there was a monkey climbing up the tree, and the monkey was getting him, and he was giving some water and putting it upon him, and he said, "Quite special."
You're not supposed to fall off the chair, honey. You all right? Okay. Can you do Two Little Monkeys, your song? Okay, go ahead.
Two little monkeys jumping on the bed. One fell off and bumped their head. Mommy got the duck and the doctor said, "No more monkey jumping on the bed. You have to be careful."
Yes, you really do have to be careful, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Folks, don't try that at home.
That's good advice. And don't fall off the chair if you're standing on a chair. They have to stand on the chair to reach the microphone, folks. And Allison, every time she does it, she gets excited and forgets she's standing on the chair and takes a step sideways, and down she goes. That's why I stand right beside her, because I always catch her before she hits the floor. But boy, when she tries to catch herself, she bangs the table where the microphone is, and you hear a really loud noise out there.
Well, what else do you want to talk about, Allie? ABCs? Looks like she wants to talk about ABCs.
Really? Well, she's only got about 30 seconds to do it, and then we got to get on out of here.
Well, why don't you sing it right now? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Now I spell my ABC.
Won't you come in?
Play with me.
Very good. Thank you. Well, that's it. Everybody say good night.
Good night. Good night.
Good night, folks.
And don't let the bed bugs bite.
And God bless each and every single one of you.
I don't know about tomorrow. I just live from day to day, and I don't borrow from the sunshine. My turn to gray, and I don't worry about the future. I know what Jesus said. It's always shining. There no tears will ever dim the eye, and the ending of the rainbow, where the mountains they touch the sky. There are many things about tomorrow I see to understand.
You're listening to 101.1 FM Eager, classic radio, like you always wished it could be.
A long, long time ago, I can still remember how that music used to make me smile. And I knew if I had my chance that I could make those people dance, and maybe they'd be happy for a while.